Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Measure and this is WoWs Weekly. WoWs Weekly is a weekly news video regarding World of Warships Legends, covering the news of the week past, present and future, along with channel admin and speculations. This week's headlines: server maintenance scheduled for February the 10th, details forthcoming. Waifu Warriors or just another money spinner? Rank Season 22 forthcoming. Silver Ninja contest only announced on Facebook though. And also some more news from the front in Glandafu. These headlines and more after this short break. So it's only really been announced today. Some of it started trickling through about 6 or 7 hours ago, but some of it's only been very recently shared also on the Discord server. Basically, there will be a patch of maintenance happening tomorrow morning on February the 10th. This is going to be an extended maintenance period in order to improve the overall stability of the game. This also means that ranked battles, which are anticipated to start tomorrow morning, will also be delayed by a few hours. Pardon me, sorry. Now, initially, so the maintenance is planned for happening at 7 AM to 10 AM UTC or GMT time, and for Central United States time, it's 1 AM to 4:30 AM. So basically, it's only going to really affect probably late night gamers in the United States and probably early morning gamers in Europe, I guess you could say. So, Azure Lane Wave 3 has arrived, and there is a link down in the description to all the details. Now, obviously, they've launched on Monday, the 7th of February, and will be in the game available to purchase until March the 7th when we move into the next patch. Now, these commanders, the details are fully released. I do know I said last week that we didn't quite know the details, but it had been teased in the community manager stream, which I had not watched at the time. But the post now does cover everything and is all there for people to read. So regarding the commanders, Montpellier, American cruiser commander, it has a base trait which increases her cruiser AA range by up to 10%, and with a unique skill which increases the main battery of a cruiser's shell grouping by 4%, incoming fire dispersion by up to 10%, and increase incoming damage to your cruiser by 5%. So a bit of like win some and lose some there. Now, we also have the Azuma, a Japanese cruiser commander. Base trait increases the cruiser's maximum speed and incoming fire dispersion by up to 2% each. And a unique skill, which is called Special Gunnery Training, because damn, the Zuma does need it. Now, this increases cruiser AP shell damage by up to 15%, AP shell penetration by up to 10%, and decreases cruiser main battery grouping by 5%. So again, a bit of a win some, lose some, but mostly aimed at the armor-piercing shells. There's also Shokuku, a Japanese aircraft carrier commander. Base trait is obviously increasing the carrier speed by up to 5%, with a unique skill, I should say, which decreases HE bombers' detectability, or just generally bombers, I should say, by 10%, because you never know, they might do armor-piercing bombers with Japanese aircraft carriers at some point in the future, you never know. There's also Yukazi, a Japanese destroyer commander. Base trait is called Swift as Wind, which increases... Oh, pardon me. It's called Lucky Shot. I'm reading the wrong line there. And now this increases the destroyer's average AA damage per second by up to 20%. On the Japanese destroyer, not exactly that amazing, but maybe could be an interesting inspiration if you do go for like an anti-aircraft build destroyer. Possibly USS Kidd would be an interesting one there. Now, the Yukazi's unique trait is increased incoming fire dispersion and concealment rating while shooting from inside the smoke. So that's 5% for the incoming fire dispersion and 10% for reduction in detectability when firing in smoke. For the Evora, now her base trait for a Russian cruiser commander is decrease the shell switch time by up to 20%, and her unique trait is increasing AP and HE shell damage by 10% and decreasing cruiser main gun shell grouping by 5%. Now, Evora is the free commander which you can almost pick up by completing a set of missions in game, which are available in store to obviously purchase for free. Littorio, Italian battleship commander, and is an Italian accuracy commander, I should really say. Now, her base trait, it decreases the repair time of incapacitated modules, as well as duration of fire and flooding on battleships by up to 10%, with a unique trait which decreases flood and splash damage of battleships by up to 8%. Now, there is slightly more details regarding Italian accuracy build commanders later on in this news item. Now, obviously with the Azure Lane commanders, they are available via the Azure Lane crates, and these crates do have duplicate protection, which does mean that you won't be getting the same commander twice until you actually have them all, and once you have them all, then any additional crates will be granting you with personal accommodations. Furthermore, there are 3 Azure Lane premium ships which have been entered into the game: Montpellier, Yukazi and Evora. The Azure Lane Montpellier has a slightly faster rudder shift but a slower rate of fire in comparison to the Cleveland. The Azure Lane Yukazi has a better main battery turret traverse and reload speed, and her torpedoes have an increased range but are slower and have a increased detectability range. The Azure Lane Evora is practically just another Aurora class cruiser at tier 2. And there's also 3 camouflages available for the Zuma, the Shikoku and the Littorio, although the Littorio camouflage is only able to be equipped to the Aroma as a permanent camouflage. Ranked Season 22, the It's Time to Duel blog post are linked down below. So Ranked Season 22 starts on February the 10th, obviously a slightly delayed start due to that maintenance that we covered earlier in this news item, and is running until February the 14th. So basically it's going to be starting at 10:30 AM UTC time on the 10th and ending at 7 AM UTC on the 14th. Ships at this time will be tier 4, with ships categories basically limited to destroyers, cruisers and battleships, so therefore no carriers. There will be 9 ranks as per previous, and there will be no leagues, so everyone will be playing together. Obviously it's 1v1 and the irrevocable ranks are 7, 3 and 1. The maps with slightly adjusted borders basically to make them small enough to ensure that the action is basically rather rapid are Big Race, Northern Waters, Polar, Sleeping Giant, Tears of the Deserts, and generally I'd say it's been quite fun actually to be able to play this out. It's about 15 stars in order to complete it for 100% rating, so the rewards aren't too bad, and okay, the rewards are quite minimal, but it's very easy to get it all done. And furthermore, there's going to be quite a few of these seasons of basically ranked happening this patch. There's 5 of them, so if you stack all this up by 5 and you complete it every single time, it's generally quite a nice amount of rewards. So, Silver Ninja. This is a contest in basically which you can submit screenshots. However, firstly, these screenshots have to be taken in this patch, and obviously the way they prove it is probably down in the bottom right of the screen capture will be the update of the game. So obviously you have to kind of submit the entire screenshot, I believe. Now, the screenshots that they're expecting are things like they're impressive or funny or basically alluring moments maybe of your favourite ships and such like that. Now, submissions have to be submitted from February 7th and have to be in by February the 28th. And then the Wargaming team will obviously then pick their favourites, and then there will be a voting for the overall winner over on the social media accounts, most likely Facebook. Now there's 5 categories, but there's only 4 to submit into. So the 5 categories will be basically destroyers, cruisers, battleships, aircraft carriers, and overall. Whereas there's only the 4 that you'll be submitting in will be destroyers, cruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers. Basically, the overall category will be chosen from the basically the 4 winners of. So basically, the winner of destroyers, winner of cruisers, winner of battleships, and winner of aircraft carriers. Now, available for obviously simply participating, simply for submitting, will be patches corresponding to the category. So therefore, if you want every single category patch, you will have to submit a screenshot in every single one of these categories. The forms in which you can do that is going to be down below in the description as well for obviously ease of doing so. Now, the winners of each category will receive 20 million credits. However, the winner of the overall category will receive 50 million in total, and also the winners will be able to pick a ship from the following list. The list are the Tier 5 West Virginia, the Tier 5 Zoiho, Tier 5 De Grasse, the Tier 6 Strasbourg, the Tier 5 Lyon, and the Tier 5 Huanghe. Now, as I mentioned, the respective forms for submitting is down below. So, obviously, as you know, back towards the end of last year, there was the announcement that World of Warships Legends was going mobile, and obviously they are continuing to patch the mobile and things like that. So those of you who have been playing the mobile version of the game, they are looking for more feedback, and the feedback form is also linked down below. The survey will only take 5 to 10 minutes, and obviously it helps with their general aim of trying to deliver the mobile version of the game. At the moment, we do know they are still having some bugs with the mobile version of the game. I think one of them at the moment that we covered last week is that aircraft carriers have appeared in the game but aren't playable, but for some reason you can purchase them, and they're telling people not to purchase them. Anyway, next news item. New Zealand Day. There is a new flag, and you can see it on the top left there, and it's rather pretty. And if you're from New Zealand, I think it's a nice thing to have. Now the redeem code is linked down in the description for those of you who have missed it, and also a link to the redeemer to make it all nice and easy to fetch. So, continued updates in regards to bugs and also other news that we have in the game, which isn't really enough in order to sustain its own headline. First of all, last week we did cover a tidbit of information regarding the interaction between high explosive bombers and other ships, especially for Xbox players who are flying the aircraft. So last week we mentioned that people who played on Xbox and flying aircraft, their bombs, the damage wasn't really happening to the secondary modules and the anti-aircraft guns, and was more going directly to the hull instead. It does seem that this is only a visual bug, and the damage is being registered correctly. So for some reason, there's just a visual bug for aircraft carrier players on the Xbox. This is something that might be tweaked in the maintenance patch, which is happening tomorrow. Now, for another bit of tidbit information, just regarding aircraft carriers, I guess we're already on the subject. There's been a bit of a shared bit of information regarding the aircraft carrier population within World of Warships Legends. So in order for there to be an aircraft carrier in every single game, the aircraft carrier population at every single tier, so tier 3, 5 and 7, would need to be about 11%, give or take. However, the CV population is obviously less than that because we don't see aircraft carriers that often. So where are those levels? Well, at tier 3, the aircraft carrier population works out as about 8% of games played, or 8% of ships chosen, I should say. In regards to tier 5, that's 7%, but at tier 7 it drops all the way down to 3%. Now, the 8 and 7% for tier 3 and tier 5, I'd say that's probably a healthy amount of aircraft carrier population in regards to amount of games played. But it's that massive drop at tier 7 which is probably obviously flagging concerns for wargaming, and might explain some of the changes that they have been trying to do to tier 7 carriers, especially things like introducing evasive maneuvers, but then they've nerfed it. So it's interesting to see this kind of like give and take relationship that seems to be happening at tier 7, whether that is some kind of like knee-jerk reactions in regards to the size of population, or maybe also the size of the population at tier 7 and also the strength of aircraft carriers, as we have seen obviously quite a few nerfs to some tier 7 carriers. Now, remember I was talking about an Italian accuracy battleship commander when we were discussing the Azure Lane Littorio commander. Well, it does seem that obviously they are trying to put one on the cards. However, they will not be arriving for at least 2 to 3 updates, which unfortunately does kind of paint Wargaming into a corner, where by having released the Azure Lane Littorio commander, it kind of makes it look like a bit of a money grab. So that's why one of the headlines at the start is Waifu Warriors are just another money spinner, because the community has been asking for a accuracy build commander for a very long time, and they finally released one, but they're going to charge you for it, only to potentially release a free one 2 or 3 months down the line. So if you're not willing to spend money but do want an Italian accuracy battleship commander, it might be worth waiting those 2 to 3 months to see when the free one will be coming out instead, and in that way you get to hold on to all your precious pennies and doubloons. Regarding leaks, as you can kind of see here, it's not really much of a leak, let's be honest. It's a potato with a heart, in all honesty. But this is basically the Valentine's Day flag, which has been teased on the community contributor content, kind of like, I think it's Dropbox. Everyone's got access to it, and someone spotted this, and I had to go check, and yes, it is there. So it is publicly viewable, and basically, I'd say expect this Monday the 14th. It'll probably be announced on the social media of World Warships Legends, maybe as a redeem code, or it might even just come straight away into the game store, in which we might be able to, say, play a couple of missions or something for it. You never know. Maybe they might even try and charge for doubloons for us for it. You never really know, Wargaming. Well, that's all the news, and I hope you have obviously enjoyed it. I will be going into the channel admin and obviously then covering off the chat, but I know most people usually catch up with the main news and then they might drop off. So if you have enjoyed WoWs Weekly, obviously feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you've got anything that you want to appear in the news scroll bar, which at the moment is mostly dad jokes because I've been finding them rather amusing, then there will be a pinned post down below after this live stream's live, and while it's still live you can obviously comment in the chat, which I I'm going to say it's on the right, but I'm not sure. I might be pointing the wrong way. Anyway, but yeah, if you have liked it, feel free to subscribe if you enjoy this content, and I'll be with the chat and doing the channel news after this short break. Rightio, so channel admin, obviously they're going to be live streaming tomorrow. Planning to try and do a collaboration live stream over the weekend, but obviously that is still slightly down to negotiations, obviously with my wife and them with their wife, so we'll see where that goes, but hopefully might be doing a bit more World of Warships Legends over the weekend, and having a bit of a two-way conversation with another content creator, not an official CC, but one of my moderators who supports the channel very nicely. Also, there will be obviously the usual historical accuracy shorts, which will be coming out this weekend. I believe this week it's going to be the Warspite, and then in regards to reviews and stuff next week, I'm not really sure what I might do. Either I might do the Italian Tier 6 battleship, or I might do the Brandenburg. It's all down to what I feel like doing. At the moment, I'm not really committing myself to churning out reviews. I'm just making sure I do a nice video on the Tuesday, just to make sure that there's slightly something different on the channel, which isn't just live streams. Anyway, jumping into the chat, and let's see where we're at. Hello, good evening there. Well, it's good to see you. Had a big hole in your wallet on Monday morning. I'm not too surprised. I know that you do like your Azure lane stuff. But yes, evening, no late night ships for me tonight. Oh, you're not in the doghouse, I do hope. You got to work still. Once my days off come, I'll have 7 days in a row, 2 12-hour shifts and then 5 8-hour shifts. That's not too bad, really. 12-hour shifts are obviously going to be quite painful, though, in all honesty. Hello, Sax, good to see you, good to see you. Running Chang, on a scale of 1 to 5, is 1 is balance free to play, 5 is pay to win. Where are we at this point? Honestly, I think I'd be tempted maybe just to try and maybe put it at 3. Like, there are some slight elements which are kind of like pay to winny, if you get what I mean. Like, you get things like the Littorio Commander, you get things like Schwertsky, which you can only get if you purchase a pan-European ship, and you get things like the Azure Lane Baltimore Commander, which obviously hasn't returned again. You get ships like the Belfast and the Jean Bart and the Weimar, which obviously are very strong ships, and even the Wichita is worth mentioning as well. So there are some like things which obviously have been locked behind a paywall. Does that mean that playing a tech tree ship puts you at a disadvantage, or using tech tree commanders puts you at a disadvantage? I wouldn't necessarily say so either. One thing I've been trying to do is, when it comes to like recently, I've been trying to play just tech tree ships, or maybe just tech tree ships in competitive modes and stuff like that. And I wouldn't necessarily say like a tech tree ship is that much of a disadvantage. And sometimes some of the tech tree ships are actually some of the strongest ships in the game still. The premium ships can be strong, especially say some of the higher tier ones, but the lower tier ones, generally the tech tree ships still do have a good footing and all. So I think there is a bit of it, but it's not all out. Like, I wouldn't say if you don't have a Vilma, it's not worth playing the game or anything like that. There's other workarounds. It just means, I wouldn't say it's pay to win, but there is a slight pay to win advantage, I guess you could say, but it's not a massive advantage. But it depends how many mistakes they keep making, like the Weimar and things like that. Owen, hello. I like this format. Thanks for the doing these updates. No, it's all right. It's much obliged. Name was Zerlane Yukazi, being a fun boat, just needed the Commander XP. Oh, fair enough. Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying the Zerlane Yukazi ship. That's this thing. I might even have to maybe review an Zerlane ship. Vaz, no full night of ships tonight on the account of maintenance, just a bit. Okay, yeah, so you're going to miss out on your probably like 1-2 a.m. finish time because of the ship maintenance. Although I think you're on the west coast, so it might not affect you as much considering it's central time. It's 1 a.m. central time. Oh, well, gents, much obliged for commenting in the chat, and as always, you can comment in the chat now or in the pinned post down below for getting your comment in the news scrolly bar. I also do take it from the Friday live stream, hence why there's quite a few dad jokes down there. My Friday live streams are just turned into me playing British ships while my community make dad jokes in the chat box, which is quite amusing. But yeah, stay safe, stay well, look after yourselves, give it a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. And until next time, I'm the Gallifrey Major, and back to the port.